Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel, Estelle of Imladris. I am Kai, I use he, they, and she pronouns, and you're back for another episode of our 1,000-year-old vampire series. But first, let's talk about the place that we are in the real world, and kind of get there. Hello, notes. Why aren't you behaving? My computer's being strange. Hold, please. Hello? Oh. My keyboard is upset with me. Anyways, let me see if I can get my computer to show me what I need to see, because I have notes for such things. Here we go. It is an extremely dark time, but I believe through collective action we can speak loudly to instigate change. It is imperative that we speak against injustice and hold those in power accountable for the wrongs committed against our communities. We must demand a better future for everyone. Protest, donate, and organize when you are able. Care for each other. Don't forget that joy and community are radical fundamentals of change. I urge you to look around you, at your neighbors, at your community. Reach out, be there for those in need, and ask for help if you are that person in need. The only way through all of this is together. When we stand together as a unified voice, they can't ignore us. In caring for our neighbors here at home, we must also not forget the world that we live in. The stakes are very high in the world right now. There is tragedy befalling every second in Gaza. We should fight for the freedom of those in Palestine and all people oppressed around the world, especially those facing genocide like what is happening right now in Gaza, and violent oppression. I stand with the people in Sudan, the DRC, and especially right now, Palestine and Gaza, and all oppressed peoples of the world, and urge you not to forget them in this time of global hardship. If you would like to do something about this right now, you can donate to organizations like Care for Gaza, and just keep an eye and demand wherever you live in the world that your leadership in your country, in the people who are in charge of how money is spent, where you live, if you are taxed, that money is partly yours to demand better action with. So, if you are in the US, please contact your senators. Look for organizations who are actively pursuing justice and freedom for those in Palestine. It is imperative right now. I know it's been going on for years now, but right now we are at a breaking point. So please, do what you can. And thank you for being here, for taking a exhale from the world around you as well, because don't forget that even though there are all of these big things happening, you can only do as much as you can, and part of that is taking care of yourself and taking care of what you need to be able to get up and do something tomorrow. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for being there for each other. Thank you for taking time to do things like play games like 1,000-Year-Old Vampire that take care of you, your creative spirit, and refill you to do something else tomorrow. Big times. So, outside of this in very important moment in the world, also, it's a very busy time to be a creative. And for those of you who don't know, it is right now back-to-back Comic-Con and Gen Con. And so there's a lot going on in everything. So also be aware that though I'm not going to either convention, a lot of your favorite creators are busy right now. So, have some kindness for people who are traveling. If you are one of those people traveling or going to a large event, please take care of yourself, please take care of your health, and please take care of your community by taking care of things like masking, and if you are able to, avoiding other people in case you are ill, whether that is from COVID or from anything else. Don't forget that our disabled community is a part of our community when I say disabled community. So know that even though you might just have a cold, it could be contagious. So take care of yourself, don't get con crud, drink a lot of water, eat a lot of food, and sleep. And don't spread anything you might get from those events. Thanks, everybody. It's super con season right now. So, if you're enjoying my content, things like 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, among other fun adventures that we go on this channel, please consider following, and if you're able to, subscribing. I'm an independent content creator, and all of your support helps me continue to tell stories and talk to you about what you can do to make your stories more rich and personal. You can go check all of the back episodes of this 1,000-Year-Old Vampire actual play over both on my Twitch, and they are being uploaded onto my YouTube about a week and a half after they air. So that means episode 1 is already live on YouTube, and you can watch episode 2 shortly thereafter. I believe it will be there on Monday. Monday in a nebulous time for those of you who are watching in the future, but for right now, it's Monday next week. And then, gosh, what else is going on? Other than, we're going to play some 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. For those of you who are just joining on this is part 3 of an ongoing series of a playthrough of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, which is a solo journaling game. I'm taking a fun spin on doing both some of the written journaling aspect and also just talking through the way that I would as a TTRPG performer, the different beats of the story as we explore a single vampire named Saku and Saku's adventures escaping the non-bond trade agreement era of Japan and is now in Amsterdam. But there will be new content in this show, so if you would like to follow the story without getting spoiled, you might want to go check out the last 2 episodes before watching this one. But hey, if you don't care about spoilers, welcome. Enjoy the hang. Enjoy the strange vibes. And as my dear and beloved Sam Starr would say, first, some self-care tips. 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is a dark fantasy game exploring real-world dark themes, which may include, some of these are not real-world themes, for the record, but some of them are, which may include vampirism, memory loss, violence, racism, which will be veiled, orientalism, which will be veiled, sexual themes and situations, body horror, imperialism, real-world religion, mind control, monsters and monstrosity, loss of agency both of PCs and NPCs, complex relationships, death of loved ones, ghosts and the undead, war, murder, alcohol and substance use, historical systems of oppression, and more. If at any point in time these become unfun for you to explore in a narrative, I encourage you to step away and take care of yourself. I will try and flag any new content warnings outside of these ones or anything particularly heavy that might come up as we tell this story, but it is improv live here with you on Twitch or on YouTube later. And so I can only flag so many things at once. Obviously, if there's new stuff, I will probably put it in the information later. Oh, no, we're getting there. We're getting there, Puck. Don't you worry. Before we get into it, a little bit more about 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, and then I owe Puck a tarot card pull for a channel point redeem before we get all the way into the game. So the way 1,000-Year-Old Vampire works, it is a prompt-based game, and we will... I will show you the prompt on screen, and we will kind of explore the story, and then I will narratively alter things in my journal as we go. But first and foremost, no, you're so fine, Puck. I can always use a reminder as a person who has a very short attention span, and my computer is being strange. So, for those of you who are tuning in, we also have wonderful Corvid points here on the Twitch channel that you can accumulate just through watching. And if you are a subscriber, I believe you accumulate them faster. And one of the things you can spend your lovely Corvid points on are tarot card pulls. So I have one for my dear And We're Rolling RPG, which is my dear Puck. Right now, we're going to switch over to this before we switch over to our 1,000-Year-Old Vampire screen. So I am going to also be pulling from the Wild Unknown Tarot that I love so very much. Ever so often I might feel a little funny and pull up my cute crow tarot, but today we're gonna do this one. I'm going to try and not pull a reversed card. We're going to see how this goes. So, Puck, your card is reversed. But it is the Star, which is one of my favorite tarot cards. So for those of you... Oh, wait. I didn't transition the scene. I'm so sorry. Transition. Here we go. The Star. Reversed. Ha 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 ha. The Star. A major arcana card that denotes hope. Among other things. Let's see what the book says. So, the Star is further in the numbers than that. The Star. Hope and peace of mind. Standing outside on a dark night, you gaze up at the stars and sense glimmers of wonder and hope. Even though you can't find concrete answers to life's many questions up there in the sky, you can't help but feel comforted and renewed. Such is the energy of the Star card. It is not about actions or situations. It's simply about connecting to the part of you that is hopeful and serene. This force will bring light back to your life and infuse you with positivity. A lovely card. So, it being reversed, don't take this as there is no hope, but it is more to say that it is a hard time to have hope, and I think anyone would understand if it is a hard time to find something to reach out for. And just know that the Star card means it is there, just like the moon behind clouds. You know it's there, and when you look for it again, it will still be there. Clouds or not, day or night, the stars are there. I love this card, and I love it for you, Puck. I hope that you take this, that there is hope to be had. Sometimes you have to find it. Yeah. Thank you for that tarot card pull. And for those of you who don't know or do know, I am the game master in a show called Lori's House, which is using tarot as the main mechanic. And in fact, how did I do that again? Okay, anyways. I use this very deck in the GMing for this game. And you can check it out at Tender Vicious Studios and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. And I'll talk about it at the end as well, but I'm very excited. There's a new episode dropping actually tomorrow. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that tarot card pull. And as a reminder, before we get all the way into 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, let me switch back to regular screen for a second. I do have wonderful channel point redeems, and because 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is, the intention is that it's very driven by the game, so that I don't pull myself out of it and get distracted. I will do channel point redeems like tarot card pulls and showing you dice or cats before break or after break or at the end of stream from here on out. But with all of that, let's play some 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, shall we? So, let's get everything set up. Alrighty. So previously, we traveled across not just one ocean, but actually many, from Nagasaki, a port occupied by many different European interests in Japan, to Amsterdam aboard a Dutch vessel, where we ate a guy. Oops. In transit. And the, oh, it seems like captions are not working. Hello, captions? We're captioning now. Perfect. So, our vampire, Saku, was scratched by the branch of a sakura tree, which is a cherry blossom tree. But in folklore, there's also the story of the... Hold on. I have notes for this exact thing. It's the Juboko, and that is the vampire tree, believed to feed on the blood of the bodies buried beneath it. And that is actually why cherry blossom trees have pink blossoms. Is not because of they're pretty or that cherries are red. No. It's blood. So the Juboko is how Saku became a vampire. And since arriving in Amsterdam, has been feeding their hunger by being invited to different places and being a gardener and feeding on people and then burying them in places where they were gardening, which is fine, right? No one's gonna figure that one out. But they did because come spring, all of the blossoms were red in all of the places that they were burying bodies. And a hunter by the name of Merel caught wise, and she began to find and follow Saku. Thankfully, Saku got away very cleverly and has been making new friends down at the docks and negotiating some off-the-books international trade with people sailing to and from, especially Japan. So, with that, I have rewritten, nothing is new, the resources page, because sometimes you just gotta do that and make more room. Pen, ready to go. So, our last question was... question 19. So now we're going to roll, and we're going to figure out what our next question is. Okay, so we're going back to... Oops. So we're going to be on question 17. Let me just get that all set up. You commit a despicable murder, but not for the sake of feeding. You commit a despicable murder, but not for the sake of feeding. Why? Check a skill and remove a mortal character, if you like. So let's look at our mortals. Let's really make this terrible. Fun. Both. So our current mortal characters. Minato, Yuka, Tatsuki, Yuka and Tatsuki are in Japan. Merel, and Renz. Renz is our new friend. They work down at the docks. They're helping us with black market trade. I don't think it's Renz, but I think that we have a lot of motivation to kill Merel. Yeah. So I think... yeah. To check a skill as well. Perfect. I'm going to check Bark Skinned. And I'm going to kill Merel. In doing black market trade, things seemed to get safer. Income and a little bit of security. You know, people look out for each other when they have mutual shared interests. And so when Merel comes down to the dock, I don't think she expected that this person that she had been hunting, this monster, as she said, would have friends, would have allies. And after hearing that someone was asking about Saku at the docks, I think Renz took it straight to Saku. And the two of them, to protect their business interests, decided that she had to go. And though it sounded delicious to feed on her, it wasn't out of hunger, if I'm honest. But being a vampire, hiding among all of these mortals, pretending, at least for Minato, that involves safety and security. So with Ren's help, we lured Merel through the back streets of Amsterdam in the dead of night. And she put up a good fight. She scratched the thing she was looking for, telltale signs of the vampire who buried all of those bodies across Amsterdam. She found the bark skin as she tried to slash and stab. But bark is durable, especially one laced with blood. And she did not stand a chance. I did not bury her body. Renz and I took her out to sea, tied a rock, and let the fish deal with her. I anticipate that she will not be the last hunter. Let's see. That memory is full. There's Renz. Perfect. Merel begins to ask too many questions. Down at the docks. And despite a noble fight, I kill her. To survive. Renz and I bury her at sea. Well then. One less problem in Amsterdam. Can't say I thought she'd be gone so fast. Let's roll again. Three forward. So 20. Oh. There is a great shift in the way society moves goods. How does this work to your advantage? Check a skill and create a skill based on a memory. Let's do some research. One of my favorite parts of this game. Let's see what advances come in the early 1600s. 17th century transportation has a lot of advances, so there are plenty of options to be had. We're just going to look at a timeline. We're also going to switch out from the very ominous music, since that was perfect. But we have other music that we can listen to as we look over the world. We have done something similar to this, but it was not the same question. Otherwise, we would go to the second one on this page, but it's adjacent to it for sure. So let's look at travel. I think that the last advance we were talking about was maybe it was house. Just double checking. Oh, it was new laws or social mores. No, that's a different one. Oh, maybe we did do this one. Yeah, we did do the newspaper. Then let's do... Yes, because we checked fishing. So we're actually on to the next question for 20. Forgot that we moved back one. Your vampiric state enables you to manipulate people across generations, using them to your own advantage. Create one stationary resource and one ostentatious resource that symbolizes your wealth and power. This is awesome. Let's bring back the down camera. I love this for Saku. I think that this is obviously fruits of the black market trade that we started doing by knowing how society operates both in now Amsterdam and back in Japan. I mean, after all, it's why we left. So Stationary resource. And one ostentatious resource. This is fun. Okay. I think our relationship with Wrens grows pretty expansive. You know, when you kill someone together, you become closer. That's how that works. So, thanks to not only circumstantial things needing to deal with someone asking too many questions, but also through our hard work, I think we begin to profit quite substantially. And the ship captains that I would take out fishing, what I thought was just nice conversation and being charming, I was slowly planting seeds that would sprout over time. And we would become friends, but friends do things because they care about each other. And over time I realized that if I ask them to do something, they don't question it, even if it is not always in their best interest. Stationary resource. A shipping house. Obviously in Amsterdam, along the waterfront. A place to do business easily, quietly. And we profit. We profit a lot, actually, and we begin to form what almost seems like a new trade company, but it's more of an alliance. We're not, on paper, entering other places. Japan is closing its borders at this point. But with clever access to trade and a lot of paperwork, we look like a legitimate business. Trading secretly behind the backs not only of Amsterdam, but of Nihon, the shogun. We're making very good money from it. Ostentatious resource that symbolizes wealth and power. It would be a trade vessel. People thought, at least. It's a trade vessel, and ships cost a fortune. But also, I convinced Minato to finally move out of that tiny flat. Renz also moves aboard. Some of the other people who work for the shipping company also come and go. We build a floating mansion. It isn't enormous, but it is large enough to house us comfortably, and we can travel. How nice. What do I name it? Because no ship worth its salt is nameless. Now I have to think of a name. Oh, God. I love naming things, and this is a problem. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. I am actively searching names. Okay, that rocks. Okay, so the ship's name is Kokai, which means Red Sea. And people think that it's the body of water. Easily confused. Let me see if that's the actual body of water. I don't want to name it after the body of water. I think that's the proper noun name. It's such a cool name, though. Ooh, it also means regret. That kind of rocks. It's also a province in Japan. Oh, it's a province of Korea under Japanese rule. Terrible. Okay. It is the proper noun for the Red Sea. I just want Red Sea, so it would be Akai something. No, I did not say German. We're not doing it in Dutch either. We're doing it in Japanese, damn it. Akaiumi? That's not bad. Fine. I'll change tactics here. Ooh, that's cool. Basically just sounds like cherry blossom. That's not what I want. The exciting life of naming things. I guess naming it in Dutch makes sense. We're pretending to be a Dutch company. But I don't like how that sounds. Naming things is hard, everybody. Ooh. Yeah, a fake Dutch name is not a bad idea. Ooh. Why is there singing in this? No. Sorry, this is so unexciting. I'm thinking it's gonna be there's a Japanese word. There's a version of red that means like truly like scarlet. I'm trapped in internet search hell. Yeah, it's like red. I want it to be really red. Oh, I think Hiro is a really good name. I think that's the name of the ship, is Hiro. Which is like scarlet. Yeah, Hiro. That's a great name. Yeah. So, Hiro is the name of the ship. And I think all of the Dutch paperwork would also have it spelled out as Hiro. Shipping house and Hiro. It's H-I-I-R-O, Hiro. And it means scarlet, which I think is a great name for a ship. And we move aboard, and I think at this point it has probably been quite a fair amount of time. It takes a long time to build a ship, and prosper, but it's exciting to have a ship and direction and freedom. And there's a level of trust with Ren's, and obviously Minato, but it's strange to have someone trust me in this form when I am using mistrust. And I think once Hiro is completed, I wonder about home. and how they would feel if I came sailing into port. Well, let's roll one more time before we go on break, shall we? One forward. We're going to 21. Ooh, okay. This is gonna be quite something. You are trapped outside when the sun rises and take shelter someplace you are not supposed to be. A child discovers and befriends you. Create a mortal child character and record a humanizing experience. Mortal child. In a place we're not supposed to be. Well, with a ship that could be anywhere. We're usually very careful traveling with cover and things like that. Enough to stay somewhat unseen. And of course, fishing you can do in early mornings and find cover before it gets too bright. But doing something unfamiliar or dangerous or reckless, that's how you find yourself outside when you don't mean to be. I think we end up in a church. I think it's time for Kai to look up churches in Amsterdam that were around in this era. There is an old church, literally called the Old Church in Amsterdam. Certainly is someplace you're not supposed to be when you're a vampire. Ooh, fresh off the Reformation. I love this. Oh. It was Rembrandt's church. Oh no. Wow, do we befriend Rembrandt? I think we befriend Rembrandt. He was born in 1606. When did he move to Amsterdam? Because that would be funny. He's not a child by the time he's there. Okay, that's fine. We can still befriend a different child. Oh. Oh, it's a later life thing. Rembrandt's wife is buried there. Fascinating. I think we go there. And I'm not going to make it Rembrandt. But I like where this thread is going. And then we don't have to be beholden to anyone else's history. Because I'm okay with fictionalizing a little bit, but that's quite a bit of fictionalizing. So, I think, while wandering through the city, where in the city is... Oh, it's like right on the waterfront. Damn, okay. So, Old Church, is right down on the water in Amsterdam. And I think while running an errand, not intending to, but for some reason we get stuck trying to get back to Hero. I think drunk and full. And because of the drunkenness, among other things, we get waylaid. I'm supposed to go home. There's work to be done. Be asleep, wake up, and go about my evening, but just lost track of time. I used to be so good at time. The sun rises over the rice fields. You plant and till. And then you eat. You rest. You go back to sleep and you do it again. But the world is so much more complicated now. There's this beautiful church. I've always avoided churches, never been a particularly religious person, and Christianity has been so fraught my whole life. Since I knew about it. I've had no interest in it. And Meryl, well, she was religious. She would speak religious words at me. Distasteful as it was, I didn't find it frightening like the folktales say it should. So, here is this church, and I am unafraid, and it is beautiful for a place that I am taking refuge in very suddenly. Maybe I'm just drunk, and I don't realize that I should be more afraid. And inside, staring at all of the beautiful glasswork, the iron, the gold fittings. These places are so ostentatious for a place of worship. Where is all of the humble wood, paper, water? No? Gold and glass, iron and so much wealth on every wall. I thought my ship was luxurious. And inside, looking at all of these things, is a rag-wearing child who seems to be looking at an expensive piece of gold, wrought in the shape of a cross. We talk and we talk. She's surprised that my Dutch is as good as it is. I see so many people as food, and she is so alive She reminds me of Yuka. And there's that sensation of almost a missing limb. Remembering that it used to be there, my body. Suddenly aware that my sister is so far away. And I don't know who she is or what she's doing with her life and all the love that she professed to have that made her stay. Who is Yuka now? I befriend a girl. Her name is... Her name is Greet. I like Greet. And she is small and mortal and has excellent taste. I'm going to fill out my character page for Greet, and then we will go on break. Greet will use she, they pronouns. An orphan from Amsterdam. With excellent taste. Mortal. Fantastic. Oh. Well, thank you everyone for joining me thus far for this dive into 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break. I think she has excellent taste in art and fine things. She's probably a pickpocket. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get back to 1,000-Year-Old Vampire and see what comes next. Now that we have a ship, a new friend that reminds us of home, and lots of money. Yeah, so go ahead and get up, stretch, and get a snack, drink some water, and I'll see you all back here in about 10 minutes. See you then. Hello everyone, welcome back from break. I am Kai. You are watching my 1,000-Year-Old Vampire actual play solo TTRPG series. But before we get back into the game, I have another tarot card pull for all of you for Milo. So Milo, we're gonna pull again from the Wild Unknown deck. Get that all set up over here. Shuffle. I'm gonna shuffle. It's gonna happen. There we go. Been shuffling Magic the Gathering cards. This is so much harder. Okay. Here we go. We have, not reversed, the 5 of Swords. Three, 4, 5. Look. Ooh. Self-destruction. A card of warning. The 5 of Swords depicts the destruction of the self. You'll be lured to another situation or argument you know to avoid. Your selfishness and desire for power will lead you to defeat. Pain and discord will result. It's an interesting card because including the artwork, like as an interpretation of this card, the 5 of Swords warning you that you can sort of splinter and divide yourself, your attention, and get caught in a moment of self-destruction. Because self-destruction implies some level of choice. And the art on the card really kind of calls to mind that you can also accidentally be stuck in that situation, not as an act of self-destruction, but just as being unaware of yourself, your intention, and what is going on. So be warned, this is not a card of you've done it. This is a card of this could happen. I find the earthworm on here very interesting because earthworms have segmented life systems and can survive. I believe that's not just folktale, that they can survive with sections missing. So yeah, be warned that too much of a schism within yourself and not knowing what you are doing can cause harm. I hope that is fruitful. Sorry, this one's a little bit less kind, but warnings are also done out of kindness. So thank you for that card pull. And thank you for always, hanging out. It's nice to have you back. And yeah, so you can always, everyone can always redeem Corvid points for things like tarot card pulls. I do limit it to 2 per stream because they take a while. But thank you so much, Milo and Puck, for those tarot redeems. I love doing them. If I can remember how to put my deck away, that's always very helpful. I can guarantee you that's part of why I have so many reversed cards. Oh my god, I put my shirt string in the tarot card box. Anyways, and then I put my box on the string again. Doing so good, everybody. So, let's get back to 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. We just met a fun street urchin from Amsterdam at a church where vampires definitely belong. Famously, vampires good at church. Let's go back to my violin loop. Yeah. So, Amsterdam. Greet. And Ren's, and now the Hero. Beautiful ship. Not large. I'm picturing it as being maybe a brigantine. Suitable for far travel, though. Brigantines are quite large. Maybe it's a sloop. No. I think it's a brigantine. There's a lot of people. So, we have answered question 21. We have to record an experience about meet and greet. This one, I believe, is going to go here. Something I've avoided. Memory 2. The only other memory, the only other experience within this memory is about Yuka. I find myself in a place of the divine. Where I meet the orphan Great. And am reminded for the first time in an age how much I miss my sister. So that is 21, and now we must roll again. Six. It's a big jump. 27. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Wars rage throughout the region in which you reside. You withdraw to a hidden retreat, waiting for them to pass. Lose a resource. There are so many. You know, look at what wars were happening in the early 17th century. There were definitely many. Wow, they have it blocked by decade. Okay, I'd say probably the 1610s. Tunisia. Russia. Oh. Austria and Switzerland gets involved. Oh, there's a whole war. Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. That's very close by. Spain, Ottoman Empire, these are quite far away. A revolt in Central America. Maybe we push time forward a little. China, not where we are. Kandahar? No. Poland and Sweden. I think it's going to be this. It feels like it's not far enough along. Just gonna keep just looking, because I know that there's a bunch of stuff that happens in this region, but I think it's too early. England. Franco-Spanish. Getting closer. Ireland. I'm sure there are smaller regional ones as well, and we can always make up one, but I like the idea of doing a real one. Hamburg. That's getting close. Catalonia. It's far. More Ottoman. Okay, I think it's just gonna be the 30 Years' War. That feels like enough. In which the Holy Roman Empire was fighting pro and anti-Habsburg stuff. Yeah, I think that that's it. And I think we're just gonna call it regional conflict attached to that. So it's just war that's been happening for forever. Because there's so many of them in that region. I think that the beginning signs of it are disease. Disease comes to Amsterdam. It spreads like wildfire, and people begin to die. The food sours in the case of Saku. And it is so difficult to eat when people taste so sour. I think we set sail. It says a hidden retreat, but the ocean isn't hiding per se, it's just away from where we were supposed to be. The hero, with Renz, some of the crew, Minato, obviously, and Greet. Greet, who got sick. And a doctor. And we sail out of Amsterdam. And I think we lose the shipping house pretty quickly after we get it in the first place. It's hard to leave. It felt so good and secure and established. But hopefully we'll be back soon. But it takes a while, because illness is just the first part. Trade gets locked for a while. The black market freezes up too. It's hard to live in Amsterdam. And while I could weather quite a bit, Minato has to eat. Renz. And Greet. So we set sail. We find a place away from Amsterdam. I just hope that they speak something I understand. Now to pick a memory. tree. Oh, I don't think I wrote one about the ship. I got 2 in it. Yep, I gotta do that. It goes over here. Where's the fishing one? It's the one with wrens. Yeah. Going back to building the shipping yard and getting the hero. We have found great fortune in the trade winds. We build a shipping yard, a shipping house, and a fine ship to live in. The hero. Okay. It's important. We have to keep all those memories in these journals. I'm going to move memory 3 into the diary. Which means Saku does not actively remember it anymore, but there is record of it, and it can be reflected upon. But it is when it's about Minato back home and how he made me forget being hungry and his jealousy of friends. Oops, that might help to remember that, but right now it's going in the diary. That's fine. Nothing bad could come of that. Into the fisherman's log. Creating memory 7. War comes to Amsterdam. And we take shelter. Let's see. Board the hero with a doctor. What could go wrong? All right. Let's roll. Oof, 7 is such a big jump. Okay. 34. Oh, God. Help, I'm in danger. There are 100 prompts with 3 each, but there are also alternative prompts in the back of the book. You destroy something important to you in a purposeless rage. Lose a precious memory or destroy a resource. This hurts. Time to make a choice. Purposeless rage. So I can't lose the memories that I just put in the diary, but I could lose the diary, which is a terrible choice. Fit of rage. Yeah. Oh God, why am I like this? I think this is the right thing to destroy, which is horrible. I think in the spirit of the question, though, it is the right call. So, I'm going to mark these. They're going away. Because the resource we are losing is the fisherman's log. I think traveling wears everyone's patience. That's normal. But the last time we were out at sea, I barely remember it. I go looking through my journals, trying to find some semblance of how I survived. Minato keeps on talking about how he spent the whole journey seasick. And that I was ill, but not in a way that was familiar. And I look for answers because it bothers me. I know why. And I look, and inside I only find A man I barely remember, the one who started all of this in the first place, Alders the bosun. And I only know that because it says so in this book. In the hand of someone that I used to know. My own writing has changed, writing in Dutch. Never had fancy handwriting when I was at home. I look for a man that isn't there anymore in the pages of a diary. And when I don't find him, and I don't find him in myself, I begin to rip and tear. Never felt so lost. Going to cross out the fisherman's log. Both of these. And right destroyed. They will go in the very back of the book. Putting it behind the rewritten resource page that I also kept. That is no longer a part of the game. And now a memory. To write an experience without forgiving. Let's see. I go looking. For the person I was when I left no, not Japan. That's what they call it here, Japan. In my journal. But I do not find him. And destroy the journal. In revenge. That feels memory one. I think we have time for one more. We go nowhere. Of course. The game said, lean in, and I will oblige. Your frenzies terrify even yourself. Do you learn to control them, or instead choose to embrace this horror? Kill a mortal character, if there is one, or create a mark, if not. Oh, this is rough because I know that there's only one answer. I will content warning this. Violence between partners. Not even in a domestic way, in a monstrous way. Going to kill Minato. In that journal, I read that I loved him. And he keeps asking. And when I can't make sense of the journal of the man that I was, of the person he says I used to be, I let it go once. I see the people that I know now in Amsterdam. The ones that look at me strangely when I call it Nihon. They don't know that name. And then there's Minato. Somewhere in the back of my mind, there are memories of us being mortal. Being in love, kissing on the shores of the rivers of a beautiful place that I hardly remember, and it has only been a few years. I don't have blood to run cold or hot for him anymore. And I'm tired of this questioning. I don't kill him like a vampire. I hardly remember kissing his skin anymore. We've been on this ship for what feels like forever. I used the knife that I forgot we used to cut fish with. Because I have forgotten that I love him. And he doesn't know me anymore. And when people wonder where he is the next day, I just tell him. I tell them. That he didn't make it. And I let all of the mortals around me think that I am a monster, but not because I am a vampire, but because I have forgotten how to love. Can't even find the memory. at sea. I feel so far from my mortal self and loves that I kill. I mean, the knife. We use sufficient. I don't remember. I don't think, to answer a question in chat, that Saku tells the crew how, just that he is gone. Alright, everybody, take a deep breath. That was very heavy. I think that is where we have to end it. Yeah. I hope everyone takes a beat, takes a nice deep breath. This game, I love it so much. It's brutal though. It'll break your heart. I know, let's go find a nice happy prompt next. Cool. Well, welcome to my prestige television ending of this episode of 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. Please make sure that if you need a minute, just take some time, you know, take care of yourself. I appreciate you enjoying the story. Yes, thank you, Milo. You're right. I should show you all a cat. That seems like a great way to end this. Wow. I love this game so much. Sometimes it will just fully break your heart for fun. Cat button, where are you? Oh. Cat folder. But yes, thank you all so much for joining, for hanging out, for enjoying the story. I will show you this completely devastatingly cute picture of Rigby that I took literally, like, yesterday. I gotta turn off that. There we go. Look at that. Have a cat to cure what ails you, and I will hydrate as well. And you all should too. Ugh. Look at Rigby. He's so cozy on the sofa. He was trying to get me to cuddle with him. I'm gonna cuddle him after stream because that was so much. Ah! So thank you all for hanging out. Let's see here. What's going on for the rest of the week? You can find me tomorrow over on Chaotic Wholesome for a... I'm just gonna leave Rigby up here. He's gonna hang out with us. For Chaotic Wholesome, over on Chaotic Wholesome on Twitch, for a charity one-shot benefiting Dots, which is the Braille Dice Initiative. It's so cool. I don't know if you've checked it out yet, but you should definitely go look at this incredible and beautiful way to include our friends who read with Braille, in dice, in physical dice, because sure, yes, digital rollers are great, but for accessibility, but what if you could touch the clickety-clacks with the rest of us? I think that's great. So we're going to be playing Thirsty Sword Lesbians over there. I've never played Thirsty Sword Lesbians on stream. I'm so excited. And we're doing King Arthur Thirsty Sword Lesbians with an incredible cast, so you should definitely come check that out tomorrow over at 5 p.m. On Chaotic Wholesome. And then, of course, on Saturday, you can come and hang out with the Translator community stream, which will be the polar opposite of this stream, where we're going to be doing a live reading of the singular, in-universe, unfortunately, My Immortal-esque romance novel written by Dalapathy Saeed. We're going to be doing a live reading of Passions of the Godspine on Twitch, all 16 chapters. It's going to be such a good time. So come hang out over on Transplaner on Saturday at 5 for that. You'll never unknow the contents of this book, and neither will Zine and Esh, which I think is delightful. And then, of course, you can find me back here next week doing more Seems Right, and then we'll pick up this game right where we left off, and maybe find a happier prompt. Oh, it's 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. We may never find a happier prompt. On Wednesday the 30th. But in the meantime, again, for those of you who are at Comic-Con or going to Gen Con, please have an excellent and wonderful time. Enjoy being in person with your nerdy tabletop and nerdy fandom communities. And stay safe, take care of each other, travel safely. And I will see you all next week. I'm gonna cut us off a little early because I do have a meeting directly after this. So please go take care of yourselves, and I will see you all next week. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Thanks, y'all. I'm gonna raid somebody really cool.